Before I begin this gripping tale, I urge you to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to on the notification button to get notified when we drop new interesting stories. Now let's dive into today's story. Monica wiped the sweat from her brow, her calloused hands gripping the steel beam as laughter echoed behind her. Look at her, covered in dirt like a common labourer. Pathetic, her cousin Kemi sneered from the sleek company car window, not knowing the letter in Monica's bag would shatter their world in 24 hours. Monica tightened her grip on the beam, her muscles burning under the Lagos sun. She didn't react. She was used to the insults. But today was different. Today she smiled to herself. Soon they'll all kneel before the common labourer who owns their futures. The construction site was her second home. The smell of wet concrete, the shouts of foremen, the weight of bricks on her shoulders. This was where she belonged. At least, that's what she told herself. The other workers still whispered behind her back. Why is a woman doing this kind of work? She must be desperate. Some assumed she was uneducated. Others thought she was running from something. None of them knew the truth. Monica Okoye wasn't just a labourer. She was the disgraced daughter of the late Anthony Okoye, the billionaire property tycoon whose empire stretched across Nigeria. 5 years ago, she had walked away from it all. The money, the privilege, the suffocating expectations, choosing instead to build things with her own 2 hands. Her father had called it a betrayal. "You'd rather break your back in the dirt than sit at the head of a boardroom," he had roared before cutting her off completely. She never begged to come back. At the end of her shift, as she rinsed dust from her face at the site's makeshift sink, a black Mercedes pulled up. A man in a tailored suit stepped out, Mr. Adebayo, her father's longtime lawyer. The workers froze, staring. "Monica," he said, voice low, "we need to talk." In the dim light of her one-room apartment, he handed her an envelope. The Okoye family seal gleamed under the flickering bulb. "Your father's final will. You were..." Difficult to find. Her fingers trembled as she tore it open. The words blurred, then sharpened. "To my daughter Monica, I leave 80% of Okoye Holdings and name her as CEO." She nearly laughed. Was this a joke? Mr. Adebayo's face was grave. "The board has already approved it, but there's a condition. You must claim it in person at the family meeting tomorrow." Monica's mind raced. Her uncle Emeka had been running the company since her father's death, expecting to inherit everything. Her aunts and cousins had spent years mocking her. Anthony's shame, they called her. And now she was supposed to walk into that lion's den? She thought about ignoring it. Let them keep their money. But then she remembered the workers at her site, people like Mama Ngozi, who lifted concrete blocks at 60 just to feed her grandchildren, people who were exploited because no one in power cared. Her father's voice echoed in her mind. "If you want change, you don't run from power. You take it." The next morning, Monica didn't change. She wore her dirt-streaked work boots, her faded jeans, her old shirt with the sleeves rolled up. The Okoye mansion loomed ahead, its marble gates mocking her. The guards hesitated before letting her in. Inside, the family was already gathered. Emeka at the head of the table, Kemi smirking beside him. The chatter died when Monica entered. "What is she doing here?" Aunt Neka hissed. Monica didn't speak. She strode forward, dropped the will on the table, and watched the blood drain from their faces. Silence, then chaos. "This is a forgery," Emeka roared. "You think you can just waltz in here? A labourer as CEO? The company will collapse." Monica let them scream. When the room finally quieted, she leaned forward, palms flat on the polished wood. "You're right," she said softly. "I am just a labourer, but unlike all of you, I actually know how to build something." The room froze. Then the board chairman cleared his throat. "The will is legal, but the final decision rests with the board. We vote tomorrow." Monica turned to leave, but not before locking eyes with Emeka. His expression was pure venom. She smiled. Let him try to stop her, too. The morning after Monica dropped the bombshell of her inheritance, Lagos buzzed with the news. Tabloids screamed headlines, "Billionaire's daughter returns from the gutter." Radio hosts debated whether a construction girl could run an empire, but Monica didn't care. She stood in front of the cracked mirror in her tiny apartment, staring at her reflection, same calloused hands, same stubborn tilt of her chin. The only difference? Today, she wasn't just fighting for survival, she was fighting for a throne. The Okoye Holdings headquarters loomed like a glass fortress in Victoria Island. Monica walked in, still in her work boots, ignoring the gasps of receptionists. The elevator ride to the 30th floor was silent except for the hum of machinery. Or maybe it was the pounding of her heart. When the doors opened, the entire board was already seated. Emeka sat at the head, smug in a tailored suit, his lawyer whispering in his ear. The other members, older men in crisp agbadas, eyed her like a strayed dog that had wandered into a banquet. "Let's make this quick," Emeka said, flipping a pen between his fingers. "The board has reviewed the will, but legality aside, we must consider competence." His smirk was razor-sharp. "Can someone who pours concrete really understand billion-naira deals?" Monica didn't flinch. She reached into her bag and slammed a folder on the table. "Page 3 of the quarterly report," she said. "The Eco-Atlantic project. You've been buying substandard materials, but billing for premium, skimming millions." The room went dead silent. Emeka's face twitched. "Lies! Where did you—" "I've worked on that site for months," Monica cut in. "I know the difference between grade A steel and the cheap crap you're using. One earthquake and those towers collapse." A board member, older with shrewd eyes, leaned forward. "Verify this." Emeka's lawyer scrambled. "This proves nothing. She's desperate, digging up dirt." "Funny," Monica said softly, "because dirt is the one thing I know better than all of you." The vote was postponed. That night, Monica's phone blew up. "Unknown number. Drop this, or you'll regret it." Then a call from Kemi. "Meet me. Please." Against her better judgment, Monica went. They met at a dimly lit bar in Ikoyi. Kemi, flawless in designer silk, Monica still in her paint-splattered jeans. "You don't belong here," Kemi hissed. "Take a payout and disappear." Monica laughed. "Why?" "Because you're scared I'll expose how much you've stolen?" Kemi's mask slipped. "You think this is about money? You humiliated us? Daddy's favourite playing martyr in the dirt while we kept his legacy alive?" Monica froze. "Favourite?" Kemi's eyes gleamed with venom. "He talked about you every damn day. Monica's strong. Monica's brave. While She cut herself off, gulping champagne. "Just sign the papers, cousin." Monica stood. "Tell Emeka his blackmail won't work. And Kemi? Daddy didn't praise cowards." Monica walked along the Lagos shoreline, the waves crashing like her thoughts. Memories surfaced. 5 years ago, Anthony's study, mahogany and cigar smoke. "Business school or nothing," he'd growled. Monica, 23, fists clenched. "I want to build with my hands, not just papers." A beat. Then Anthony did something shocking. He smiled. "Stubborn, just like me." He tossed her a hard hat. "Then start from the bottom. But remember, suffering without purpose is just pain." She'd thought he was mocking her. Now she wondered if it was a test. Next morning, Monica was barred from the building. Security handed her a letter. Board vote suspended pending investigation into forged documents. Emeka's doing. But Monica had one last move. She called the one person even her father feared, Alhaji Danjuma, his oldest rival. The meeting was in a smoky back room of Balogun Market. Danjuma, 70 with a lion's mane of white hair, chuckled. "Anthony's daughter, eh?" "He said you'd come." Monica's breath caught. "When?" 2 days before he died. Danjuma slid a USB across the table. Footage of Emeka's theft. "Anthony knew. He waited to see if you'd fight." Monica's eyes burned. "Why help me?" Danjuma grinned. I hate cowards. And girl, you're fire. Monica stormed the emergency board meeting, projector in hand. The video played. Emeka, caught on camera, diverting funds. Chaos erupted. Emeka lunged at her. You ruin everything! But security dragged him out. The board chairman stood. The vote is unanimous. Monica Okoye is CEO. Silence. Then, slow applause from the old board member who'd questioned her first. Monica exhaled. This wasn't victory. It was war just beginning. The boardroom still smelled of sweat and betrayal when Monica stepped out onto the balcony of Okoye Holdings for the first time as CEO. The Lagos skyline stretched before her, gleaming towers her father had built, construction cranes swinging in the distance like skeletal fingers pointing at the future. The same hands that had hauled concrete for years now gripped the railing of power. But the victory tasted bitter. Danjuma's warning echoed in her mind. Who's really behind Emeka? Monica spent her first night as CEO digging through files in her father's old office. The safe behind his portrait yielded a black ledger, dates, amounts, initials. A.N. Aunt Nneka, her father's sweet-faced sister, who'd always slipped Monica candies as a child, had been siphoning funds for years. Emeka was just her attack dog. The proof was all there. Faked invoices, shell companies in her name. Monica should have been furious. Instead, she felt cold, calculated. She called a family meeting. They gathered in the mansion's grand hall, Nneka in her pearls, Kemi avoiding eye contact, lesser cousins fidgeting. Monica entered last, still in her work boots. "You're all wondering if I'll fire you," she said, pacing. "But I won't." Relief flashed across their faces until she continued. "Aunt Nneka, you'll repay every naira you stole. Work here as a clerk. Minimum wage." Nneka's gasp was theatrical. "You can't—" "Or I press charges." Monica turned to Kemi. "You wanted a payout? Here's your deal. Oversee labor conditions at all our sites. Actually get your hands dirty." Kemi's jaw dropped. Then Monica dropped the bomb. "And Uncle Emeka? You'll keep your office." The room erupted. "As head of sanitation, those toilets won't clean themselves." Silence. Then Danjuma, lurking in the doorway, burst out laughing. Monica's first official act as CEO wasn't about profit. It was about cement. She gathered her old construction crew in the Okoye Holdings lobby. Mama Ngozi, Ibrahim with his bad knee, young Chidi who'd shared his lunch when hers was stolen. "You're all getting back pay," she announced, "and healthcare. And this—" She unfurled blueprints for worker housing on company land. Mama Ngozi wept. The board squawked about costs until Monica showed them the math. Happy workers build faster. Less theft, less turnover, more profit. The old board member who'd voted for her nodded. Anthony's daughter indeed. Late that night, Monica found a note tucked in her father's ledger. "Monica, if you're reading this, you fought hard enough to win, and I was wrong. A throne means nothing if you don't build something that lasts." A.O., her tears smudged the ink. At the inauguration gala, Lagos's elite arrived in diamonds and agbadas worth millions. Monica walked in wearing a custom gown, over her construction overalls. Reporters clamoured, "Why the boots, Madam CEO?" She grinned. "So, I never forget where I came from." As the cameras flashed, she spotted Kemi quietly handing a hard hat to a waiter. Progress. The next morning, Monica visited her old site. Workers froze when they saw her. Foreman Tunda stammered, Madam CEO." "Just Monica." She grabbed a shovel. "That foundation won't pour itself." As she worked, sweat mixing with the same red earth as always, Chidi whispered, "But you're rich now," Monica laughed. "Money changes accounts, not people." And so the girl they called Dirty became the queen who built kingdoms from dust. Remember, child, true royalty isn't in the crown. It's in the hands that shape the world. Your worth isn't measured by what you inherit, but by what you build. If you gained absolute power tomorrow, what kind of leader would you choose to be? Don't forget subscribe. Thanks for watching. please comment, like, and share.